Reincarnation is still a controversial concept among people. Despite being very ancient, the belief in reincarnation is not accepted by the two most numerous religions in the United States. But what does your inner self say? Is it possible that reincarnation exists? Is there any way to confirm reincarnation? What does the Bible say? Is the conviction of those who believe in reincarnation achieved through facts or theories? We will make a series of videos commenting on this subject. We will talk about reincarnation in the Bible. We will present a logical reasoning about its concept. We will discuss reincarnation today, studied by the spiritualist and spiritual community. However, we will start with this video, addressing the subject from a more scientific perspective, mentioning research by renowned scholars who dedicate themselves to numerous cases of children with vivid memories of their past lives. I appreciate your company and kindly ask that you subscribe and hit the like button at the end of the video if you enjoyed it, as this is how you can support the channel. Thank you very much. Many scholars, mostly non-spiritualist scientists, meaning they did not seek to prove something they already believed in but delved into a new mystery that presented itself to them. This detail is important because it removes suspicions and prejudices. One of the most renowned of these scholars is psychiatrist Ian Stevenson, who passed away in the first half of 2007. He dedicated more than 40 years to reincarnation research and wrote over 200 fundamental articles and books on the subject, with almost 3,000 documented cases in his archive. Stevenson's research stands out, but it is not the only one. There is a vast collection of cases describing children who remember past lives. What we see in fact, is that many people do not even analyze such studies, fearing that the evidence will jeopardize their beliefs. A large part of the cases studied involves young children, from the age of 2, with no reason to lie and no intellectual development to engage in the lies of others. Many children are the offspring of religious people who do not believe in reincarnation but cannot close their eyes to the evidence. Other cases are ignored and forgotten over time, with the intention of not hurting their beliefs. To illustrate the grandiosity of the evidence, which only leaves doubts in those who do not want to believe, we will narrate one of the cases collected by Ian Stevenson. The case tells the story of Swarnlata Mishra, a girl born in 1948 to a wealthy family in India. At the age of 3, Swarnlata was traveling with her father when suddenly she pointed to a road leading to the district of Kutni and asked the driver to follow it to what she called, "my home." There, she said, "we can have a cup of tea." Murvara, a city in the Kutni district, is located over 100 miles from the girl's city, Chhatarpur. Shortly afterward, Swarnlata began to describe a series of details about her supposed life in Kutni. She said that her name there was Bia Pudak and that she had 2 children. She provided details about the house and located it in the Vizirkusha district. The girl's father started recording the memories of his daughter. 7 years later, in 1959, upon hearing these reports, a paranormal phenomena researcher, the Indian Hemendra Nath Banerjee, visited Kutni. He took notes from Swarnlata's father and used them as a guide to interview the Pudak family. Everything the girl had said about Bia, who would be herself deceased in 1939, was confirmed. Until then neither family had heard of each other. That same year, Bia's widower, one of her sons and her older brother, traveled to the city of Chhatarpur where Swarnlata lived. They arrived unannounced and without revealing their identities or intentions to the residents of the city. They asked 9 of these residents to accompany them to Swarnlata's house. Stevenson reports that immediately the girl recognized and pronounced the names of the 3 visitors, calling the brother by his nickname. Weeks later, her father took her to Kutni, to the house where she claimed to have lived and died. Swarnlata treated each of the attendees by name, Bia's relatives and friends. She remembered domestic episodes and treated Bia's children, then in their 30s, with a motherly intimacy. The girl was only 11 years old. Now let's look at the case of the boy, James Leininger. He always liked to play with toy planes. In his drawings, fireworks and bombs were always present alongside planes. At the age of 2, he began to have frequent nightmares and shout things like, "Plane on fire. Man can't get out." His parents, Bruce and Andrea, thought it was childish imagination and the drama of some cartoon. In one of these nightmares, James screamed so much that his parents were forced to wake him up. When asked what had happened, the boy replied that the plane had caught fire due to Japanese missiles. He also said that he had taken off from a base called Natoma, and remembered the name Jack Larson. Entertained by the boy's interest in World War II but completely skeptical, the parents decided to collect some books and materials about the period. It was then that, glancing at a figure depicting Iwo Jima in the Pacific, James pointed his finger and claimed that it was there he died. They went further and researched the Battle of Iwo Jima, discovering that on that day, March 3, 1945, only one man was killed, James McCready Houston Jr., a 21-year-old boy completing his 50th and final mission before going home. Hit by the Japanese, his plane crashed into the Pacific and he was killed. At this point, the game got out of control, and what were inventions of a child's mind began to raise doubts. In addition to knowing specific details about the life of a soldier who, like so many others, lost his life in the war, little James demonstrates an impressive knowledge of planes. The boy claims to have piloted a Corsair and even commented that this type of aircraft had problems with tires all the time. When given a plane as a gift, his mother noticed, "There is a bomb there." He immediately corrected her, "Actually, it's a drop tank." The boy's parents researched more about Houston's life and even took young James to a meeting of war veterans. Arriving there, he would have known each of the veterans by name without ever having met them, at least not in this life. It was also discovered that Jack Larson was a man who fought alongside him. Contacting Houston's still living sister, James began to have specific memories of childhood stories, old toys, and objects. The stories of James' memory were compiled in the book Soul Survivor, and the boy was invited by a Japanese TV channel to visit the place where the pilot supposedly died. Undoubtedly, strong emotions. Thank you for staying until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to help spread good words and positive energy. I hope to see you in the next video, God willing.